This is the KSWB Mobile Storm Tracker 2. It's back bigger and better than the previous generation. For those not familiar with either vehicle, this is a TV weather broadcasting SUV for the Channel 7 news station. Naturally, I decided to stick with the Tahoe platform as I am a huge fan of the Chevy Tahoe. In particular, the model I chose is a 2023 Special Service Vehicle, which is the more rugged version of the law enforcement package. This will allow the vehicle to be more capable off-road, which is something the previous vehicle heavily lacked. One thing you may have already noticed is that Storm Tracker 2 does not have a satellite dish. The uplink dish has been done away with in favor of being an IPNG rig. IPNG stands for Internet Protocol News Gathering. These vehicles use the same kind of cellular services your phone uses to send high quality videos in real time back to the studio. They utilize something called signal bonding, which is basically using multiple services from different carriers to strengthen the connection and make it more reliable. A lot of modern news vehicles favor IPNG setups opposed to satellite because it's a lot more flexible with space, lighter, and especially cheaper. My main inspiration for the vehicle was a ton of modern Tahoe rigs from numerous stations, alongside aspects from some of the Weather Channel vehicles and Wave 3. Let's get started with the detailed look into everything. Starting off with the exterior, Storm Tracker 2 is a flashy new livery with all new stickers. I wanted to give a quick shout out to my friend Aaron who helped design the base livery on the vehicle. It turned out awesome and I couldn't have asked a better person to help out with it. I thought the cold front design from the Weather Channel's 2016 Toyota fleet was so neat and it was something I wanted no matter what. It was definitely the right call to add to it. Later on, I added isobar contours to add a bit more flair and break up the empty space. The new logos and such on the stickers are super fun to design as well, especially the modernization of the older logos. Moving on to the equipment, at the front I have mounted a Satina PB450L push bar. It helps with front end protection, but also makes it look more aggressive and serves as a mounting point for some equipment. A floodlight is mounted on top of the lower beam, with two Whelen SA315 siren speakers on the bottom half. On the lower driver's side of the push bar, there is a laser temperature sensor to read the temperature of the road. This is great for winter weather situations. As for the emergency strobe lighting, there are four Whelen ion trios mounted in the crossbeam, with two more on each side of the push bar for intersection warning. On each side, Whelen tracers are mounted along the running boards, providing ample side warning. To the rear, I have Whelen outer edge spoiler mount with ions, with two T ions on the trunk. The colors on each light head are green, amber, white, with the exception of the outer edges being green, amber, red. We'll get to the flash patterns and all that later on. Front and center on the roof rack is the iconic Rough Ride PTZ camera, which is an industry standard 360-degree camera. Beneath that is a light bar because you can never have enough floodlights. There's also another one mounted on the left side too. The center of the roof rack features a Winegard RS3000 Roadstar TV antenna. I notice a lot of modern builds have these, and from my research it seems like it's for receiving signals rather than broadcasting. On the back side, there's a weather station providing wind speeds, wind direction, temperature, dew point, pressure, and rain amounts. There's also two Teoglass Pantheon series antennas. These puck antennas grab signals and feed them into the vehicle, helping to make sure the live feed is stable. Various different kinds of antennas line the outer portion of the roof rack, and on the left side there's a PA speaker. I also decided to do something a bit wild with the vehicle too for fun. You'll notice these clamps on the right side of the roof rack. They're for something that is the complete opposite of the purpose of this vehicle. It holds a singular hammer probe for data gathering inside tornadoes. Because the probe is on a clamp, it can quickly and easily be removed to place down into the ground. The old vehicle had no probe slots whatsoever as it's entirely camera vehicle, so it just adds more to its functionality. You'll immediately notice the position of the probe when stowed introduces a few issues when it comes to opening the rear passenger door and the trunk. I have one thing to say about that, the rule of cool. It doesn't always have to make sense just as long as it's cool. It instead just seems tedious that you have to take it off to open a door and put it back on once you're done. Moving to the interior, we have a Havas center console with a lot on it. There's a screen to view the PTZ camera feed, with the controls for the camera just beneath it on the left. Some switches and plug ports are directly next to it. A wheel and core control head is also there for a lot of the emergency functions the vehicle has. Beneath that, there's a Motorola radio with the separate microphones for the driver and navigator. Can't forget the best drink too. The Navigator has a laptop that I stuck a bunch of stickers onto. The radar scan on the laptop is actually from a chase I did last year. This was a beautiful supercell over northern Maryland on May 3rd that showed off some pretty sick structure. The mirror has some cameras pointing towards the driver and navigator. I had to bring back the Tofu Cup air freshener too. It's a staple of the vehicle pretty much. On the ceiling there's a functional dome light that will glow in white or red. Moving back to the workstation, there was a broadcasting computer. I modeled this one pretty accurately to W10's own Storm Tracker. It contains LCD monitors to, monitor, a switch to change the camera feed, an audio controller, an encoder to transmit the footage, some communications equipment, a power distributor, and the inverter. On the desk, I decorated it with a few props. There's a Roblox man-face coffee mug, once again one of the best things I actually own, some papers including a high-risk SPC outlook with notes, a printout of an SPC discussion, and the proposed 1.22 map. Next to that is a VHS tape box that I created a KSWB mock-up of K4's documentary. Instead of it being about the 1999 Moore F5, I made it about the 331 tornado that my friends and I witnessed back in version 1.17 of the game. This is still the strongest natural tornado that I've ever experienced throughout the years of playing Twisted, and probably my most favorite and memorable. The operator seat has functioning camera angles too. I totally didn't rip the code from Doghouse to make it work. The PTZ camera functions much like the TIV turrets, being able to rotate 360 degrees and slightly change the angle. There's also some stationary angles I fixed to it. There's a dash camera, a rear camera, navigator, driver, operator, exterior right, exterior left, and the wheel camera. In the trunk, a lot of equipment is stored. Bags, a box, first aid kits, traffic cones, and microphones. You can't forget about Moo Moo the cow too. On the box I put a Fujiwara Tofu Shop sticker with my pizzeria's pizza box resting on top. Beneath that is a pull-out TV, which I'd actually show pulling out, but the animation broke. Oops. Here's what it looks like if the animation actually wanted to work. The graphic on the screen is a recreation of the Weather Channel's now replaced Weather Center Live program in severe mode. And finally, it's time to get to my favorite part, the strobe patterns and sirens. Well, that does it. That's the full tour of Mobile Storm Tracker 2. This vehicle was an on and off work in progress project for about a year. I constantly tweaked it and changed it around until I was happy with the final result. What do you guys think? Anyways, see you next video.